homosexual faggot dipshit motherfucker. Fuck you, that's why. Cause fuck you, that's why. Cause helmets suck, that's why. And commies like you swallow, that's why. Fuck Pete Wilson, that's why. Fuck Dick Floyd, that's why.
All right, man. So, welcome to the Liberty Bowl, people. This was actually the original concept for the show. It's supposed to be me and my buddy here, your Liberty Swine, and we're gonna just be getting stoned and having conversations about conspiracies and current events, what's going on in the news and shit like that. So, this is the first official episode, man. So, go ahead and tell them a bit about yourself, man. Introduce.
What's good, everybody? Refer to me as the old Uncle Swine. Liberty-minded American. Liberty first. We're here to show you some stuff, possibly learn some things ourselves, and try to get a message out there. I mean, I believe it's we need to take America back, and I don't mean like political parties or whatnot. I mean actually for the people.
Right.
Pretty much it.
All right. Hell yeah. Shit. So we've been researching some topics for today. So did you see the thing with Paul Pelosi with him with his of course brilliant stock trades?
Paul Pelosi, yeah. What did he spend? What did they say? 5 to 22 million, possibly.
Right. I think it was like 5 million on 20,000 shares of Nvidia. Just as it's about to go up for a vote. Right. Yeah, as to whether or not to subsidize them and shit.
Yeah, it seems the Pelosi's are psychic, huh?
Right.
It always seems to happen that they make the investment at the right time. I mean, whether it's like you're saying now with chips and whatnot, the manufacturing, to obviously Tesla and electric vehicles as a whole. I mean, they've definitely enriched themselves off of limiting and restricting us.
Right.
So
exactly, man. Fucking it's so I mean, I guess what it is it's hold on. I'm gonna go ahead and take this dab real quick because it's about time.
Sure.
All right, man. Now it's official. Now we're officially in the Liberty Bowl. But so yeah. What the bill? I guess what it is. It's for is I agree with. It's basically trying to compete with China on the whole semiconductor field and stuff like that. So of course I agree with that. What's the whole the issue with it is just the unethicalness. The unethnic. I don't know. I guess fucking undertones to it of. She's going to be voting on whether or not to do this. And he bought options. So either way, whether or not the vote goes through, I'm assuming he bought call options, which would mean, that he has an option to buy it at a set price, which is probably a pretty low price, knowing that the stock's
right.
about to go up if this vote passes. But at the same time, if this vote doesn't pass and the stock doesn't go up, he doesn't have to buy all those, but at the same time, it's like I say, it's just some shady stuff, especially when they're, Congress is dragging their feet, slowly trying to regulate fucking members of Congress and, members of the Senate and stuff like that from them and their families, members being able to trade in stocks.
Yeah, I mean, it's an obvious setup. It's obvious insider trading. I mean, if you don't call that insider knowledge, I don't know what would be.
Right.
Really. I mean, as far as you almost can't say family because then it's going to be used to the extreme.
Right,
you're going to have like second cousins being prosecuted because they made some investment.
Right. Then again, I mean, none of these people are ever going to get prosecuted, even if they do put in these types of laws and stuff like that. Which I don't know personally. Go ahead.
It won't be part of the hierarchy. It's always some low hanging fruit, some toadstool.
Right.
That ends up taking any kind of blame whatsoever.
Right. So I guess kind of like how they get around it. So what I've looked into as per insider trading, it I guess it really just refers to board members. So unless they're a member of the board or something like that, I guess it doesn't technically constitute as insider trading. But seeing as they're elected officials and stuff like that, it's pretty unethical. But ultimately it's unethical, not illegal yet as of yet. Because yeah, I
I
guess
mean,
insider trading just refers to board members and people that are literally on the inside of the company.
right. I mean, and I mean that's I mean that is to an extent what it should be used for sure. Hence
Mm,
the name insider. But at the same time, if you're involved in regulating
right,
said industry, it's insider trading. I mean,
right,
you have the inside scoop of all of it.
right.
You know, I
And
mean,
even if you don't have the inside scoop, you have the fucking policy making decision or the policy making power to regulate these companies in whichever way you see fit.
yeah, for
Right.
sure.
But so what do you think about if I guess maybe like sitting members of Congress and their immediate families or something like that, or maybe they're only allowed to invest because of course you're not gonna you can't fucking cut them out from capitalism just because of the fact that they're members of Congress. So, they still have to be able to invest their money in some way or another in the stock market. So what do you think about maybe just if they're only allowed to invest in like mutual funds and ETFs and things like that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a weird spot because obviously, I believe in liberty. So, I mean,
Hmm.
I wouldn't want to be, regulated out of capitalism
Right,
myself.
right,
I mean, and it's hard to constrain someone's personal spending habits or investments for their future. So I mean, it would take some serious going over. I mean, to be honest with you, like you just said, who's really going to get prosecuted, and is it really worth all it's going to take for not only to draft the laws themselves, but then the enforcement.
right,
I
right. And
mean,
that's a an important thing that I think we need to share that we do here at this show is we don't just try to think of just one side of everything. Like I say, I wouldn't want to be fucking regulated. I'm sure none of the members of Congress would want to be regulated, or their family members would want to be regulated. Just based off the fact that they have family members that are inside and stuff like that. So of course you gotta think of everything from at least a semi empathetic like type of view about things, but at the same time like we say.
fellow American view. I mean,
Right, right,
I mean, these, it's supposed to be a government of the people, right? Not only by the people and for the people, but of the people. I mean, they're supposed to be our fellow countrymen. At this point, we have, obviously an enriched, establishment that's been in there for 30 years. Those aren't really of the people, but you also have a whole new crop coming in that are, young cats. I mean, you take even AOC for existence. I mean, she was a bartender. I mean, she just rose up to an upper echelon of income. I mean, I'm not trying to hold anyone back, even if I disagree with them.
right,
You know,
right. But that bitch does need to pay her fair share. Right. But how much is she
yeah. I
behind?
mean,
How much
she
is she owing
owns.
taxes?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it's at least $250,000, I believe, at this point, with penalties and interest and whatnot.
Right.
So,
All this shit that she's working her ass off to regulate, just biting her in the
yeah,
ass.
yeah, exactly. And even with the, she's pushing for student loan debt, and then she admits she has all this debt. So she's
Right.
like, I'm already paid by the taxpayers. Now I want the taxpayers to go ahead and pay off my loans from before I was a public servant.
Right.
Like, man, you are crazy.
That's right. Someone fucking dropped you on your head or something. What the fuck? No,
Right.
she's just entitled. It's that entire generation's fucking downfall. Like I guess I could say my generation. She's about my age, right? Like, I'm 32.
Yeah.
She's around my age, right?
Yeah. I
Okay.
actually think she might be like 2 years younger than you.
Yeah. So roughly my generation. But still, I'll be the first to admit, my generation ain't that great. I mean, we're all pretty entitled. I mean, I guess I could say I was a bit of an exception. Because like I say, I never really thought of myself with much of shit. Just a quiet observer. I was never like to be the center of attention like most of my generation. I never wanted to be fucking never wanted to have a show on YouTube or anything like that. But But yeah, no, like I said, like now I feel like it's important. You know, like I feel like I say, I feel like we're literally watching the degradation of society just crumble before us. And you know, like I say, my generation is a major contributor to that degradation too. So I want to kind of try to at least try and educate my generation, possibly some of the younger generation. I haven't really got back too much of the YouTube analytics on what kind of people are listening to my show, but it's the type of people I'm trying to reach. Even the older generation that are just stuck in their ways and don't see the what's going on, don't see the forest for the trees and all that shit, or so to speak.
Right.
So basically it's just
I mean, I have to say my generation is definitely one that is not doing their part either. I mean, like we've talked in the past, like you see, like we were just saying, you got this younger crop of politicians coming in, your age, slightly younger, and then you got all these 80-year-olds. But where's all like my age group? I mean, you're not even
Right.
seeing them in there.
Right. Like
So,
we've had a few talks about this before. Like I say, I feel like your generation was kind of the blank generation. I would say, as in basically it wasn't important at the time. They were living in a general time of everything was relatively okay. Think people were getting along and stuff like that. There was major drug wars and fucking stupid shit like that. Of course, fucking there's a lot of counterculture that was left wing but anti establishment at the time and stuff like that. And then now it seems like the whole culture is shift. But as per I was saying, like with your generation, like I say, I feel like it was a relatively stable time. So a lot of people were more focused on the luxuries and the nice things in life rather than the politicians. Like I said,
yeah, I mean,
they were
I
voting
definitely grew up
for someone playing a saxophone. Like that's what won the fucking presidency in those days. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely grew up in an opulent time in America. I mean, we didn't have the same level of technologies that we do today.
Right.
Obviously, like we're sitting here talking now, but I mean, you could live off of making $8, $7 an hour, and you lived all right.
Right.
Like you worked 40, 45 hours, and you paid for your little apartment or whatever, and everything was cool. And obviously now, I mean. You, you got to make a minimum of double that to afford like a studio.
Shit, to
I
afford
mean,
rent.
right,
Right.
exactly.
Shit, this generation has zero chance of being able to own a home before they're 30. Like it's not feasible at this point in time for the youth that are just starting out in adulthood right now. And that's why I feel like it's gonna breed a whole new crop of kind of liberty-minded people, because they're, like I say, fucking people are starting to look into this shit now. People are starting to wonder. People are starting to question their governments and things like that. People are starting to, I don't know, at least I hope people are starting to question the whole the fucking the grift of social justice. Like,
Yeah, I mean, and the blatant corruption. I mean, at this
right,
point, they don't even hide stuff. I mean, it used to everything that they told you a few years ago, you were a conspiracy theorist for saying. Now they're right in your face, like, well, what's wrong with us doing this,
right,
or why should we be able to do this, or if you like, there's like CRT. They're like, we're not teaching CRT unless you pass a policy against it. Then it's like, well, we are teaching it. Why are you trying to interfere with it?
right.
You're a bigot. You don't want us to teach history. I mean, is it really though?
Right, like that clip I sent you with of Tom Horn, fucking
Tom, critical race theory, how would you define it, and how would you teach classes with critical race theory in mind?
Well, what I'd like to do is contrast critical race theory with my values, which I believe are fundamental American values. I believe that we're all individuals, that we're all brothers and sisters under the skin, and that our race is completely irrelevant to anything. The people who promote critical race theory take the opposite view. They tell the students the most important thing about them is their race. And if you're part of the majority, you should feel guilty because you're an oppressor. And if you're part of the minority, you should feel oppressed, which robs people of motivation. Anyone can achieve anything in this country if they work hard. So critical race theory to me is the opposite of the fundamental idea that we are all individuals, we should be judged on our merit. And as a result of that, they act against merit because they don't believe in rewarding us based on what we've done, how hard we've worked. They want to have results depend on what race we were born into. I think that's very un-American.
Like I said, I don't vote, but my lady definitely voted for Tom Horn for superintendent. But like I said, his description of critical race theory in the classroom is exactly like I talk about all the time. It's just basically victim mentality, and it's if you're a minority, then you have to feel like you're oppressed. If you're white, you have to feel like you're the oppressor. Either way, you have to feel bad about the color of your skin. And that's basically what CRT is, and that's basically the atmosphere that it pushes to these young minds that people try to say that fucking you can't groom kids and this and that shit. This stuff's not grooming kids. Fucking these minds are fucking they're like sponges. Everyone always says fucking a child's mind is like a sponge. They absorb everything they hear. So when you're in class preaching racial segregation, even though you're trying to disguise it as it's equality and it's understanding of the atrocities of racism in the past and this and that type of shit, really like I say it needs to say something in the past. Their argument is that every single decision that's ever been made throughout the history of mankind has a racial undertone or a racial reasoning behind it, and it's not true. I mean, a lot of people just did things for the betterment of their fellow man. I mean, granted, okay, there was some things that did have racial undertones to them. The whole civil rights movements and things like that. Granted, but a lot of that, it's I mean, slavery. Fucking. We talk about slavery all the time. Slavery wasn't a racial thing until it became a racial thing. People have been enslaving the people of their own color. People have been enslaving their fucking neighbors. People have been enslaving literally their own people. Fucking slavery's been a thing for a long time. And like I say, it's not necessarily a race thing. It could be different cultures. Fucking enslave another culture and shit like that. But generally, it's the whole racial, enslaving black people, things like that aspect. It's the American, version of slavery. And that's basically what people focus on and think all slavery has always been. Basically, they think that American slavery is the only slavery that has ever existed through humanity. And so basically that's why America is the most racist country in the entire world and shit like that.
My take on slavery is, one, like, I'm in the firm view that it's none of my business what someone else thinks of me, right?
Right.
And so, like, even if it was like a racially tinged thing, I mean, it has nothing to do with anyone that lives in this country today, for sure. Okay. And then, like you've already spoke on, everybody's been enslaved. So to me, it wasn't necessarily a race thing either. It was more of just being more powerful than somebody else and being able to take advantage of their labor to enrich yourself. Right. Or to make life easier, or to create more products for a larger amount of people, whatever the case may be. And slavery is going on today, but that stuff isn't spoken on. I mean, and if it is, again, you're a conspiracy, or you watch Fox News. And I mean, we both know. I mean, I don't even have cable. You know what I mean? Right. I don't watch Fox News. And
definitely not.
And it's slavery is going on today, and it was the West that ended slavery in the West. Right. It wasn't like an outside force came in and made us do it. We did it of our own accord. Was there some people that may have fought to preserve it? I mean, of course, there's always two sides to every battle, right? Hence the reason there's a battle. But ultimately, freedom won out, and people of color, which now you're learning from, legal Mexicans that are here, that people of color and minorities have it the best here than pretty much anywhere else on the planet. Right. I mean, why else would you build a trash raft and leave everything you've known to float across the ocean to come here? I mean, you don't see vice versa, right? Yep. So, I mean, there's a lot of things we could touch on in just that one topic. There's 100 different spin-off episodes we could create.
wait, there is one instance where Americans risk life and limb to go to foreign countries for a better life, and that's the WNBA. Oh man, fucking that shit's great, right? And they're fucking, it's so anti-American until you fucking need America, right?
Right, and LeBron out here is a billionaire, and because of America, and he's like, if I was her, I'd have to question whether I want to come back to America or not. I mean,
she's questioning whether she's going to be alive tomorrow. She don't give a fuck. Please take me back.
Right, but I mean, like you were talking earlier about entitlement. I mean, this dude's a billionaire saying this. Yeah. Like, man, shut the fuck up, buddy.
Right. Right.
For real. Like I don't even want to. I don't even watch you play basketball. I sure as hell don't want to hear your take on politics, man.
Right. It seems like that's all he's become lately. You know, like people. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure he still plays. I don't know. Does he still play basketball? He might. I don't know. Like I say, I don't watch basketball, but either way,
Right.
you know, really, where the only time you really see LeBron nowadays is when he's you know, being a talking head for the left wing. You know, that's really the only stuff you hear about him nowadays.
Or holding open a book to page 1
Right.
for a photo op.
Right.
He loves that one.
Fucking was
Just
that
in case
meme
anyone
like?
wants to see that.
Right, what was that meme like? In 2022, LeBron is going to finally get past page 1 of his book.
Yeah, because you can go on, you can go online on the inner zones there and see 100 photos of that guy posing with a book. Turn to page 1. Like, you're killing it, son.
Let's see what's trending on the old Twitter spheres.
Well, you know you're going to go with that first off, right?
Oh, what's that?
The old Epps files.
Oh, the old Epsteins?
No, the old Ray Epps.
Oh,
the hilarity will ensue.
Right.
I mean,
right.
Earlier when you said check the Twitter sphere there,
Right,
and
Twitter's a
the
fucking
posts are hilarious.
Twitter's a madman though, dude. Twitter's already fucking past the Ray Epps thing. Let's see. Let's check out.
Yeah, it's like number 27
Ray
now or
Epps.
something.
Yeah, earlier it was like number 1. Let's see, right now, Leah Thomas is trending for sports. Dr. Oz. So I guess he's trending right now. Oh, fucking what about fucking when Kamala was trending earlier for her fucking what was it, her speechwriter fucking quit.
Yeah, after 4 months.
Right.
I mean,
Fucking, I had enough of this shit. All right, so let's see.
Right.
Ray Epps is literally the only guy on video over multiple days telling people to storm the Capitol, and he has never been arrested. Weird. All right.
Yeah. I mean, it's all on film, right? I mean, you keep scrolling, I'm sure you're going to see post after post with videos. They're arresting grandmas that were in the area. This guy's on film all over the inner zones, man, egging shit on, and he's running around free driving golf carts and shit on his ranch.
Right. Fucking driving boats and shit.
Meanwhile,
like that.
Back at the federal ranch.
Isn't he from Arizona? I'm pretty.
Well, I mean, I'm not too positive.
I'm pretty sure I read an article saying, yeah, but yeah, dude's straight fucking fed, bro. Like they're even fucking calling him out fucking fed at the fucking thing, but yeah, dude, definitely some weird stuff. Fucking, let's see what old Teddy Cruz is saying.
2021, Epps wandered around the crowd that had gathered, and there's video out there of him chanting, "Tomorrow, we need to get into the Capitol, into the Capitol." This was strange behavior, so strange that the crowd began chanting, "Fed, Fed, 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 Fed." Ms. Sanborn, was Ray Epps a Fed?
Sir, I cannot answer that question.
Of course you can't.
Next day.
Ding, ding, ding. That's an affirmative, Bobby.
Epps is seen whispering to a person, and 5 seconds later, 5 seconds after he's whispering to a person, that same person begins to forcibly tear down the barricades. Did Mr. Epps urge them to tear down the barricades?
Play the video, Ted.
Sir, similar to the other answers, I cannot answer that.
On the night of January 5th,
Right? Of course not.
Is it just me, or would it be hard for you to refrain from getting down? I mean, you've seen here recently where they were actually had stills of memes posted on, like a tripod to talk about in front of Congress. I mean, so why aren't they actually playing the video footage? I mean, it's all over the place. It's not like it's divulging some, information that they don't have access to, or, that's redacted or what have you. It's all over the place.
Shit. Matter of fact, cutscene.
I'm going to put it out there. I'm probably going to go to jail for it, okay? Tomorrow, we need to go into the Capitol. Into the Capitol. Peacefully. Peacefully. Okay, folks, grab the word. As soon as the president's done speaking, we go to the Capitol. The Capitol's this direction. He's done speaking. We are going to the Capitol, where our problems are. It's that direction. He spread the word.
Right. So I just played the clip. It happened in a matter of a second, but in editing, it's gonna be in there. But either way, the clip's there. So yeah, dude, fucking, we see him there. You know, fucking. Oh, we have to go into the Capitol. We have to go into the Capitol. Right.
And he keeps walking up to random crowds saying the Capitol, it's that way.
Right.
Pointing it out. We have to go to the Capitol. Yeah.
Right. But
yeah, I mean, he's a main culprit. If you were gonna say someone was out there trying to stir up rabble rouse and start a riot, it was definitely that guy.
Right. But, and then they'll get people. What was that GOP front runner in, I think it was like Ohio or something like that got arrested for being there. I forget his fucking name, but they another one that they arrested publicly for the January 6th thing. They arrested him literally just for being there and walking into the door. I think it was something like he like helped somebody up or something like that. Some shit like that. Literally the most minute fucking thing, but literally they fucking go arrest him publicly. You know, it's just it's I don't know, it's really kind of scary just to think of, you know, like I don't know, just the fact that they're clearly just going after their political opponents. You know, it's clearly
yeah. I mean, especially again, like with the video footage. There's video footage of the Capitol Police opening doors, letting them in, almost like a guided tour. And then I read somewhere that the main chamber where they went in, where like Nancy Pelosi's podium and computer and stuff was, that the doors are something like 300 pounds apiece. So we're talking, and they're like, you know, like a French style door. So we're talking 600 pounds a door, and you know, with locks, and they weren't damaged.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's an obvious setup, a honeypot situation, down to the fact that they didn't even lock the inner doors.
Right.
I don't know.
And it seems like we've been having an issue with unlocked doors in this country as of lately, right?
Right.
Doors being left open and shit, right? Fucking.
Yeah, that coupled with, you know, periodic camera failures. Like they'll have an angle of this happening here, and a millisecond later from this angle, the camera failed. But I mean, the Epstein situation. I mean, on and on. It's always something with technology that most people don't have a problem with on a daily basis.
Right. We know what we should do. We should invest more money into semiconductors. Right. Maybe we should have a vote on that in Congress. Right. Maybe they could get some of this technology working correctly.
Yeah. Maybe we can enrich some entrenched families while we're at it.
Right. some people from the struggle of Napa Valley, California.
Yeah.
the hard streets of Napa Valley.
So are we gonna go on to the old Trumpikins talk?
Trumpster? Like, I thought it was kind of funny that Timcast was I remember listening to Timcast the other day. It seemed like he was kind of upset that Trump didn't come on his show to announce it, right?
Yeah, I think he was upset that he didn't come on his show, but I believe the overall message of why does he keep going to people that hate him? He does interviews like on 60 Minutes on CNN. Right. And you know, I mean, all they do is disrespect him. They selectively edit it to make him look like an asshole. You know, and they've done it for years. And he obviously coined the phrase, right? You are fake news. You're
fake motherfucking news.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I don't want to get too cray in it. I don't know how far we want to get in the rabbit hole tonight, but you know, it's a strange thing for sure. But I think Alt Tech has been there to support him. His biggest supporter was, you know, Jones. He watched him get deplatformed and did nothing about it. And now you got a whole new cast of characters that are trying to support him and get his message out there for him,
Well, but
and he just ignores them, man.
Well, but see, Trump and the Patriots, man, they've been planning this all along. It's 4D chess, man.
Right.
Go
It's
Q.
got to be 60 at this point.
Right? Throw Elon into the mix. He's playing fucking 12D chess. He's fucking rolling a dodecahedron and shit. He's playing Dungeons and Dragons with fucking with the fucking geopolitics. Well, fucking I guess fucking American politics and just American polarization and fucking misinformation.
What's your opinion on though? I mean, why he hasn't or made it official yet?
Of course, so he could still get donations. Once you're officially announcing your candidacy, then there's a cap on how much money people can give you. So in the meantime, before you announce your candidacy, that's when you're out there collecting the big checks.
What about also? Don't you think it has a big part of the with the midterms? Because if he say he has this massive war chest, which I've read several different outlets that say he does, and he declared today, it's going to take the attention off of the Trump endorsed candidates.
Yeah.
Like right now they're getting a lot of news in their local states and some of them even nationally. And I think if he declared today, it would take the spotlight off them and it would all be about, Trump 24/7 coverage again.
Right.
So I think it would diminish their chances.
Yeah. I mean, dude, what's Trump's fucking endorsement right now? It's like 90-some%, like one of the highest in American history.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
it is.
like
I think it's the
90%.
highest in American history, right? Like
It wouldn't surprise me.
I'm pretty sure it is, dude. If I can, but I don't know. Like I asked Sticks, dude. Like I can, I don't know. But
The Liberty Bowl, all Trump's endorsees getting elected means they all owe him one, and he doesn't even need to run and still wins. Do you think he's becoming too powerful? No, because it's still a minority within Congress, etc., that would be dedicated MAGA. And just because he endorses them doesn't mean that they don't turn around and say, fuck you later on. Most of them, I think, do it in good faith and actually do support him, though. I don't think he's too powerful. If anything, I think he would need a little bit more power. Well, he's still got some years to go till 2024.
like he did make a good point. Fucking politicians being true to their word and actually owing someone one, it's not a real thing. Yeah. But like I said, a lot just the sway that Trump has. It seems like he's swinging a big stick, It doesn't matter how much the people hate him. Like say he doesn't even need to run again. He could be like the fucking right wing Soros. He just run shit from the shadows. He could be fucking just the.
Unfortunately, he doesn't have that Soros money, but yeah, to an extent, for sure. I fully see what you're saying. And about having too much power and whatnot. I agree with you to an extent, but I also see where Sticks is coming from. That he needs that backing.
Yeah.
He needs those governors. He needs those congressmen and senators that are willing to pass some bills, man. I mean, because obviously the last time he didn't get anywhere near what he should have done because of the stifling of his own party in that first 2 years.
Right.
So, and then he had a year of Democrat control and then a year of Fauciism. So.
Right. What do you think about the Democrats that he converted and then he's now endorsing that are running as Republicans? Like I think in Georgia they had one, but I think the Georgia candidate that Trump endorsed, I believe that Georgia candidate lost. But still, what do you think of all the Democrats jumping ship and all of a sudden on the Trump train?
Well, you know what that is. I mean, that's political theater. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, he's a lifelong Democrat, a New York corporate Democrat.
Yeah.
But and then again, what better way to even just mess with vote totals than to throw your hat in the ring and steal a few thousand?
Right.
Even if that candidate lost, they could have spoiled it for a better candidate.
True.
I don't think he should be necessarily endorsing someone from the other party if they've already been in office. I mean, maybe if it was like a Manchin type, Southern Democrat, and they just came on board and they had some similar ideas, supported capitalism and constitutionalism, as far as that's concerned.
Yeah,
I could see, but don't like a Manchin character, put your name on him because he voted with you one time when he's voted against you 30.
Right.
So
right.
That I guess long story longer.
Right. Either way, regardless, not downing on Trump. Like either he did make some major changes. He did, like I say, I feel like we're in a great awakening and shit right now, and I feel like we do owe a lot of that to what Trump did when he went into office and shit. Kind of exposing just the globalism that has become America.
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, you can't be afraid to call out them lows either, man.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, I know this is where we go with the white pill, black pill.
Mm-hmm.
But and that's why I always claim, you see MAGA and ultra MAGA everywhere. That's why I'm in the old dark MAGA crew.
Right.
Because like, I mean, obviously I would vote for him. I mean, I would vote for a piece of toast over Biden.
Yep.
And I do
I'm
support
sure
a lot of
most of
what
America
he
would right
says.
now.
Yeah, I'm sure too. But at the same time, I mean, he did roll in some things that caused part of the woes we're dealing with today.
Right.
So, I mean, everyone likes to blame old the C 1984, but we both know that was the reaction
right.
to 1984.
Right. All right, so let's go into Leah Thomas. I guess Leah Thomas is trending again right now because she's been nominated for Woman of the Year.
Here we hold in.
Right, dude. Fucking, how many years in a row would that be now that a man has won Woman of the Year? A man.
Right. I mean, I know of two. Well, no, because what's the health director? Biden's health director, Rachel. It's a man, baby. But so them and then Caitlyn. So I think it's three. Yeah. But that's still that's still clown world. We live in bizarro planet for sure,
right.
buddy.
Right. So freaking I guess Ted Cruz was also in the news. Let me see if I could find it real quick. But I guess he recently just was on a podcast saying that he believes the SCOTUS should relook into gay marriage. That he believes gay marriage, shouldn't be allowed. Let me find it real quick. All right. SCOTUS was clearly wrong to legalize gay marriage. Let me see if we get the clip right here. So we just had some technical difficulties. I think it was because we were talking shit on the semiconductor. They heard us and they just had to shut us down, even though we're not live or anything like that, but still. So anyway, let me pull this back up. So we were talking about.
I'm sure we're on several lists.
Right? Yep, I'm sure they don't like us somewhere. Let's see if I could get this damn taskbar to come up. 1 second. There we go. All right. Do you got it on the screen?
Yeah.
All right. So here we go. Ted Cruz. So Ted Cruz says SCOTUS is clearly wrong to legalize gay marriage. So let's check this one out.
In Obergefell, the court said, no, we know better than you guys do, and now every state must sanction and permit gay marriage. I think that decision was clearly wrong when it was decided. It was the court overreaching.
All right. So there we have it. His views on the old gay mirage.
All right. You gonna go or you want me to go?
So I'll go ahead and start. Like I said,
all right.
With gay mirage and things like that, as per on a federal level, I think the federal government should be abolished. But either way, so I agree with like what Turley says. Steve Turley from Turley Talks. You guys definitely check out his show too. Pretty good guy. But like he said, gay marriage is more between two people. It doesn't really affect the outside world. When it comes to things like trans rights and things like that, it's when it becomes more totalitarian, where society at large has to conform to the trans people and stuff like that. And basically now you are affecting other people's liberties and freedoms and things like that. So again, I'm on board. I don't give two shits about gay marriage and things like that personally. It doesn't really affect my personal life, so I don't care. If they want to fucking be miserable together, let them be miserable together. Again, as per the federal level and things like that, I don't really know. Like I said, I believe in all states' rights. I mean, I guess if states don't want gay marriage in their state, whatever. But I don't know. That's my take on it.
Right. I mean, I agree with you on some instances for sure. Um, my take on it is I think the federal government has no place in marriage. I think their only place in it is to tax you and to punish you when it doesn't work out.
Right.
Tax you at a higher rate. Rob you for insurance plans, stuff like that. And that's the whole spiel with the federal government being involved in it in their quasi fingers in different industries. I think that when you're making laws specifically for groups of people, that's actually biases, and that's kind of bigoted in itself. I mean, I think the Constitution is what it is, and it's equal rights for all. I think regardless if you or I agree with what these cats want to do is irrelevant. Like, again, it's none of my business what someone else thinks of me, right?
Right.
Obviously I'm not, I'm a hetero guy, kids, beautiful little Bane in the living room.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, if you guys want to play swords, bro, go play swords, man.
You guys want to cross streams, man? It's what you guys do is up to you. Keep it in the bedroom, not in the classroom.
Yeah, right. That's it. That's where I was going to go next.
Right.
I just don't want it rubbed in on children, and I don't want it on, in the streets in broad daylight with dildos and thongs and, all sorts of whoop-de-whoop. And I like it when women do the old, well, what about, strip clubs or, what is it, Hooters? I mean, those places are sleaze buckets. I'm a guy. I mean, I'll tell you that. I mean, I haven't gone to a nudie club in like 25 years, man. Why the fuck would I go pay to look at some copor when I can go meet a woman?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But I mean, to each their own.
Just a heads up, fucking ghost just walked into your room, man. That's pretty creepy.
No, I mean, that's my little nigga girl, bro. That's my black girl.
All right.
That's my kitty.
I was gonna say that's pretty creepy, man. I think we're gonna have to post this video to fucking like crazy shit, like fucking paranormal activity shit like that.
That's my witch kitty, man.
Right. But yeah, man. So some good points there, man. Fucking like I say, I mean we're pretty libertarian minded. Like I say, we're conservative leaning. At least like I say, I don't speak for myself. But as per the way our conversations tend to lean, it seems like we're pretty on the same page with being more liberty minded rather than like I say, fucking stick up the ass conservative, right?
Exactly. I believe in fiscal conservatism.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in social liberalism to an extent.
Right.
But there's a point where it devolves into deviance.
Right. Right.
That's it. That's as far as I go. Other than that, even if you want to be a deviant, do it in your house, man.
Right. Right. Like I said, fucking what do you think on the whole religious aspect of the whole conservatism and things like that? Do you I know you're you have religious beliefs and things like that, but do you believe it's 100% necessary? Like, do you believe it's like a prerequisite to be a conservative Christian or something like that, or do you believe that that's a cult?
Absolutely not. I believe that's definitely bordering on cult, and I think it has no place in politics, right?
Right.
I mean, obviously, they could say, well, part of the Constitution. I mean, what, like common sense things? Don't murder, don't steal.
Right.
Basically, do what you want. Don't step on the rights of other people, and don't hurt other people.
Right.
And other than that, religion has no place in government. It really doesn't. I mean, you see the results of that still on the other side of the globe. I mean,
Right.
we see the Muslims that deal with that on a daily, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want that for my kids either. I want them to be able to choose for themselves. And I'm not downing, Christianity or people that go to church. If that's your thing and it gets you through, dude, do you,
Right.
know? But I just want my children to be able to decide for themselves. I don't want anything forced on them, whether it be for or against.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, so some of my religious views. I have a good morals. I believe in common sense morality. Like I said, matter of fact, I'm even writing a book on it. like I said, I don't believe in religion as a theological aspect and things like that.
Hey, you guys are gonna love that book, by the way. I've
Right.
already got the sneak peek into some of the first chapters.
All right.
This guy's killing it. I think he's gonna blow some of your minds. Definitely when it comes out. Let's just get on that train.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. But yeah, like I say, I don't believe that I need a book to tell me, not to steal from people or not to, kill people, things like that. I don't like. I'm pretty sure if it wasn't written in a book, I would probably still not do it. You know what I mean? Like I say,
for sure.
Common sense morality. A lot of people in the world do lack that, though. That's why, like I said, I will never say if you're a religious person that you're wrong. Because you're not. If it works for you and it gives you good morale, if it gives you a good morals and you're a decent person, it makes you a better person. More power to you, dude. I'm proud of you in that sense. Like I say, just as per me, and I feel like I said, I feel like the majority of Americans have kind of stepped away from religion, and like I say, people, on the conservative side feel like, in order to be conservative, you got to be a Christian or something like that. I feel like it really kind of alienates a lot of these people that, don't believe in theology for, the obvious
Completely
reasons, but, so that's why I'm trying to, just because you don't believe in God doesn't mean you have to be a fucking goddamn animal. It doesn't mean that you can't live with doesn't mean that you can't have morals. It doesn't mean that you can't still want the best for your fellow man or for for your children, for your community and things like that.
And beyond that, why wouldn't you want to expand your own mind and think for yourself?
Right.
I mean, just because you say, well, I don't buy into the Bible, doesn't even have to mean you don't believe in God.
Right.
I mean, it's supposed to be a personal relationship between you and whatever that is. I mean, go find it.
Yeah, exactly, man.
You don't need a book. And I know, as obviously we all were as a small child. You pretty much knew, like, if you did something bad, you felt it. You felt weird. I mean, you got the adrenaline rush. It was like, you knew
Right.
that it was wrong.
Right.
And the only thing that you have to get really pounded into your head is the constraints of other people's minds. Arbitrary shit.
Right.
Don't go above the speed limit. Wear a seatbelt. Stuff like that, man.
Right.
I mean, if you really think about it, everything else is like almost built in. It's almost like genealogical memories.
You remember I was reading with you the comment that dude put it on my fucking the dude put it that dude put on my fucking on my philosophy video that I posted on Rumble. It was actually on Rumble, the comment that he posted. But his argument seemed to, of course, basically, like I said, kind of basically the same thing I was saying. People need common sense, morality, and things like that, and that's the whole reason for religion. And but his one of his other arguments was that people are, basically in everybody, their inherent desire is to be an immoral person. To their inherent desire is to fuck anything that moves, things like that. Their inherent desire is to be a carnal, immoral person. That's basically the things that feel good to people, and so that's why you need religion to. That's why you need a religion, basically, to remind you that those things are wrong and things like that. So where, like I said, I agree to some point that basically, the things that are immoral to an extent do feel good. Like I say, if I can doing drugs, having, sex with multiple partners, doing all that type of things, it does give you that sort of, serotonin, I guess, or that, kind of uplifting feeling and stuff like that. But at the same time,
Right.
That's why I say basically common sense morality, and as you were mentioning, you do kind of get a bit of a feel when you're doing something wrong, right? And so
Yeah, for sure.
Like I say, I feel like basically most people have that. Just a lot of people choose to ignore it.
Yeah, and I think like when you're going buck wild and you're trying to have sex, everything that moves, like you're saying, it's usually at a time in our lives when we're younger. You
Right.
got the hormones going on, you got the emotions going on that you don't know how to deal with. You're not an adult, but you're not a kid. I mean, to me, that's the time that those things happen. And the people that carry it on into adult life are people that are just going to struggle anyway, man. It's people that can't grow up for whatever reason, or they're just having severe mental issues. I mean, we both went through our own, tribulations or whatever. And, there's just a point in time that you grow up or you don't. And,
Right. There's a time
you can't blame that on
shit or
an
get off the pot,
inherent
as they
need
say.
to be immoral. Right.
Right.
I mean, I mean, I went buck wild, and I don't feel the need to do it now. I mean, sure, do you want to have a little party every once in a while, go to the bar?
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, most people do, but it's whether you function or not that matters.
Right. It's when you do these things too much. Basically,
Yeah.
moderation is key. Like I
Yeah,
said.
or the example you're going to set for your children is my A1 priority, and has been for decades. I mean, and that's to me, that's what you do.
Right. And
You're either the kid or you're raising a kid.
right. That's my whole entire argument against the whole your kids don't belong to you. They belong to the community and shit like that. Fuck no, dude. My community is fucking horrible. I do not want my community instilling their goddamn values in my children.
For sure.
Right, dude? Like, fuck that shit. I'm scared to send my damn kids to public school, man. Like,
Yeah.
at the same time, goddamn inflation's through the roof, man. You fucking can't even afford to not send them anywhere else. Luckily, my kids aren't school age, so I don't have to send them anywhere yet. But
Luckily, mine is one of them's doing great for herself, and the other one has worked his ass off and got into an accelerated program with life skills, man. So,
fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, I did something right. If anyone could ever blame anything on me my whole life, I did that well.
And that's what it's all about, man. Is making sure the next generation is going to be okay. That's like I say, if I can back to my book and shit, if I can, that's what I feel like the meaning of life is basically, as Robin Williams said in Dead Poet Society, the meaning of life is that you exist and that life exists, and that and that the powerful play goes on, and that you may contribute a verse. The powerful play goes on, and you may contribute a verse. What will your verse be? Like that's what I believe. The meaning of life really kind of is that as long as life continues and life continues to advance and life continues to grow, and that if you could contribute your part to that, then I believe you lived a decent life.
Yeah, and also I think it was one of those crazy communist hippies that said something to the effect of, we always say, what kind of world are we going to leave for our children? But in reality, we should be worried about what kind of children we're going to leave for our world.
Right.
And like you were just saying about, we were both speaking on our generations. I hope to leave this world with at least making a few people that were a hell of a lot better than, we were.
Right.
That's been my goal.
That's more of my fucking argument toward capitalism versus communism and shit like that. My basic argument is you can't govern happiness. You can't fucking legislate happiness and shit. Basically the only way you could do that is instilling better values into further generations and shit. You can't make the world a better place today. You have to make better people for tomorrow in order to make tomorrow a better place. Right?
Yeah. That's where you go with your guy. You wish you could tag him in some of these conversations, right? The guy that you were having the conversation with on Rumble. I mean,
right. Right. Well, I mean, this one's gonna go up on Rumble. He does follow me, so I really do hope he does kind of get a better understanding of where I'm coming from. Like I said, that was just literally about the first page of my book. So that's if that part offended you, you definitely probably don't want to check out the rest.
Yeah, and if you feel that your child needs a superhero to look up to for them to be a good person, you're probably not parenting well.
Right. You're supposed to be that superhero, man. You're supposed to be your child's hero. Yeah, you're supposed to instill the morals and values, not Jeebus. Right. But anyway, man, I feel like that was a damn good show. Real good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, man. We definitely got to get on a better schedule here and crank out some vids for everybody, man.
All right, so I definitely want to try and get to doing this, at least every weekend, and then,
For sure.
Shit, definitely, like I said, this was the original vision for the show, man. It was basically just like a kind of a podcast with me and you, fucking kicking back, talking about, politics and society and philosophy and getting stoned, man. Just kind of, I mean, that basically that was
going on this a lot happening this little weekend here, man. Otherwise, I would have had some more topics myself. For sure. Yeah, for sure. This next week, man, we'll put down. Let's get 2 episodes in. I'm good, bro.
Shit, fuck yeah, for sure, man.
All right.
But as I was saying too, that's another barrier we're trying to break too, is fucking conservatives and cannabis. basically they still can seem to think it's the devil's lettuce and things like that. That's another stigma we're trying to break here at the Liberty Bowl. So, appreciate you guys watching. From Blurry over here to Liberty over there. If I can appreciate it. Peace.
Smell later.
Hey, look at me, man. I look like I could be Fox News' Brian Stelter, a.k.a. the warmongering establishment Stackwell Republican known as Sean Hannity. Subscribe to our YouTube page, or better yet, find us on Rumble to get more fat bowls, fucking good news, bad news, fucking crazy opinions, and good times. Fuck off.